Olá, sejam muito bem-vindos a mais um Higher Education Sessions Austrália. Essa é uma série de eventos online promovidos pela Estude com o suporte do Governo da Austrália, que vai te contar tudo o que você precisa saber para realizar um curso superior na Austrália. O Governo da Austrália lançou o Study Australia Experience, que é um website cujo link vai ficar aqui na descrição desse vídeo, onde você consegue ter informações valiosas sobre a experiência de estudar na Austrália. Claro que também para isso, assim como o próprio Governo da Austrália recomenda, você pode contar com a Estude para fazer o seu planejamento de intercâmbio. Hoje eu vou conversar com o Alex Thomson, que é o gerente de recrutamento da RMIT, uma das maiores universidades da Austrália. A gente vai conversar em inglês, o Alex fala um pouquinho de português, né? Mas é claro que a gente vai legendar esse vídeo para você ter uma experiência mais agradável. Hello, Alex!
Oi, Bárbara, tudo bem?
Tudo e você?
Tudo ótimo por aqui.
Alex, first of all, thank you so much for being here and participating on this event.
Thanks so much for having me, Barbara. It's great to be here.
Our main goal here is promoting Australia as a higher education destination for Brazilian students around the world and showing off all the best institutions there are to know. So first of all, I would like you to introduce yourself. And before we start, I've heard that you are a great fan of Brazilian culture. Am I right?
Yeah, that is right. I actually lived in Brazil for a year, and I've been there many times. I speak Portuguese, a little bit rusty at the moment, but I have been, especially when it's talking about education, but I have been speaking for 12 years now, and I lived in Rio, and I have many friends there that I consider family. So it's very much a second home to me. So can't wait to go back next time.
Yeah, Australia was my second home as well. I lived here for 3 years, so I know it's good to have a second home, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's 3 places to stay, which is great.
For sure.
Yeah.
So if you could please introduce yourself in a little bit of RMIT.
Yep, sure. So I'm Alex Thomson. So I'm the recruitment manager for Onshore International at RMIT University. So I help recruit international students that are already here in Australia, as well as I support recruitment in Latin America as well. So I support Latin American students coming to study at RMIT. A little bit about RMIT. We're known as a global university of design, technology and enterprise, located in Melbourne, which is the second largest city here in Australia with a population of 5 million people. So it's quite a large city. So RMIT is internationally recognised, and we're currently ranked in the top 1% universities globally, meaning that if you decide to study RMIT, you'll be receiving a high quality, internationally recognised qualification and education. So we have 3 campuses here in Melbourne, with our main campus located right in the city centre. So very easily accessible by public transport wherever an international student chooses to live in the city. We have a strong focus on practical industry-based learning, where we ensure that our students have the skills that they need to be job ready when they graduate. So we're currently ranked number 1 in Australia for the graduate employment rate. So we have a strong track record of getting our graduates into jobs. We're also strongly connected to industry, and some of our partners that we work with are some of the largest companies in the world and leaders in their sectors. And through these connections, all our students have the opportunity as part of their program to undergo practical activities such as internships, mentoring, clinical placements and industry projects, which go towards them meeting the requirements of their program.
Great. You are very well known in Melbourne of your communication, design and fashion courses, right?
Yeah, correct. We're very strongly ranked in those subjects and across the main international ranking systems.
Great. That's amazing. So let's talk a little bit about the location. Many people are under the impression that living in Australia means to be able to surf, to be very sportive, and so. So if you could please tell a little bit about what one can expect from a Melbourneian experience.
Yeah, well, you can do all that here in Melbourne, and I'll talk a little bit about surfing at the end, but because I'm a surfer myself. But Melbourne has been ranked as one of the most livable cities in the world for a number of years now. It actually held the number one ranking for 7 years in a row, from a few years ago. So it has very high standards of living and excellent infrastructure, whether that's in health, public transport, and education and other areas. It's also a very multicultural city, and we have people from over 200 countries living here. We actually have quite a growing population from Latin America, especially Colombia, and a growing population of Brazilians as well. So yeah, they tend to be from mainly Sao Paulo, Minas Gerais, and the south. So Paraná, Santa Catarina, and Rio Grande do Sul. Yeah. So yeah, that's where mainly the Brazilian community here tend to be from, but other areas as well. It has a temperate climate, meaning it can get hot here in the summer. It can get up to 38 degrees sometimes here in the summer, and then cold in the winter as well. So we have a saying here in which Melbourne can have 4 seasons in one day. So I'd encourage you, if you decide to come to Melbourne, to bring clothes for all types of weather here. But if you don't have big jackets and all that, there's many places where you can buy that, so that's no problem. Compared to Sydney, which is known for its natural beauty and beaches, Melbourne's known for its arts and culture. It's known for its world-famous museums and galleries and festivals that it holds across the calendar year. It's also known as being the sporting capital of Australia. So there's many high-profile international sporting events that are held here, such as the Australian Open. So that's one of the Grand Slam tennis tournaments, and that's actually starting next week.
Next Monday, if I'm not wrong.
Yep, correct. Yeah, so that's all kicking off very shortly. We have the Formula One Grand Prix, which happens around April. And then we also have the Rip Curl Pro Bells Beach for people that love surfing. Even though that's not Melbourne, that's outside of Melbourne on the Great Ocean Road, but that's, just over an hour's drive away. So it's not that far. And if you love your food and coffee and going out, you're going to love living in Melbourne. It's internationally renowned for its cafes, restaurants, and bars. There are hundreds of options for all types of budgets here. And being such a multicultural city, we have food from almost every country in the world. So you can get amazing Chinese, you can get amazing Italian, you can also get Japanese, Greek, and for Brazilians that want to matar a saudade da comida brasileira, there's Brazilian cafes and restaurants here too.
Are you a huge fan of Brazilian food?
I love it. Yeah, I miss it a lot. So, outside of Melbourne, there's also many amazing tourist sites, such as the 12 Apostles on the Great Ocean Road, Phillip Island and its wildlife, and the wine regions, the Yarra Valley and the Mornington Peninsula. So lots to see outside of the city. A bit about surfing.
Mount Buller as well, the ski station as well.
Yeah, so we got you're also able to ski as well. So we actually have a couple of mountain ski resorts, which are about 3 to 4 hours drive too. So you can take advantage of that and actually see some snow here too, which many people don't think there is in Australia as well. Yeah. So bit about for the surfers here, because I'm a passionate surfer myself, but even though that Melbourne itself does not have surf, there are places within 1 to 2 hours drive in which there is. So places such as the Great Ocean Road, so waves such as Bells Beach and Winky Pop, Phillip Island, so Cape Woolamai, and the Gunnamatta Beach on the Morning Peninsula. There's quite a few options there. And given that it gets cold in winter and you want to surf all year round, bring a warm wetsuit too. That's what I encourage you to do that. So yeah.
But I feel that Melbourne offers like lots of experiences, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it has a bit of everything for everybody.
A bit of everything from everybody. I think so. I felt that when I lived. I'm absolutely mad about Melbourne. I love Melbourne. I miss Melbourne and coffee so much. Even though I'm in São Paulo, I miss Melbourne and coffee so much. Now, I would like to talk a little bit about the programs at RMIT. I know that you have done a little bit of introduction, but if you could please go further on that subject. So or if you want to highlight something.
Yeah, absolutely. So RMIT is quite a comprehensive university. So we offer over 450 programs. So we offer a lot. We are known as a dual sector university, meaning that we don't just teach higher education. We actually offer a foundation year. We offer vocational programs such as diplomas, advanced diplomas, and associate degrees, and higher education programs that we teach from bachelor all the way up to PhD level. Disciplines, being a comprehensive unity, we cover a lot of disciplines. So things that we offer are such as art and design, and we're actually the #1 art and design university in Australia. We're ranked 15 in the world for that discipline. We teach business and law, and through our business programs, students are able to major in a lot of different areas in the business sector. We are very strong in architecture as well. So we're ranked #3 in Australia for that, and also highly ranked internationally as well. We offer programs related to construction, project management, and property. Education, we offer programs with a focus on primary, secondary, and early childhood education. We offer a very comprehensive spread of engineering disciplines. We actually offer fashion as well, and we're actually currently ranked in the top 11 fashion schools in the world, and we're very connected to the fashion industry. We offer niche areas such as game design. We offer media communication. We're strongly internationally ranked in that. Health and biomedical sciences, information technology, and within information technology, we offer programs around IT itself, computer science, software engineering, artificial intelligence, and cybersecurity. Justice, crime and legal, and many different science programs as well. For students who may need to improve their English prior to going on to study their main program, we also offer an English for academic purposes program. So you can use that to get to the program where you want to go. If you don't meet the academic requirements of the program you want to go, being a dual sector university, we have a lot of pathway options as well, so we can actually get you from where you want to go. So you may start off in, say, an advanced diploma, and then you may progress on to a bachelor after that. So there's many different pathway options that we offer.
Great. So let's talk a little bit, just jump to the admission process, because in Brazil the admission process is a bit different than it's from Australia. So how can someone apply? What are the requirements for a Brazilian student?
Yeah, so all applications are submitted through our online application portal called StudyLink. So it's quite a straightforward process. All you need to do is really just register your details, and then fill in your details, and then you'll get a login. And then after that, you'll go about filling in some information about yourself. And then generally the documents that international students need to submit with their application, things such as copies of passport and visa, if applicable, certified copies of academic documents, and they need to be both in English and Portuguese, a copy of an English proficiency test if you already have that. For students that want to do art, design, architecture, media and communication, and fashion programs, they generally have to submit what is known as a selection task with their application. So that may be the submission of a portfolio of work, or it may be what is known as a pre-selection kit, which is a document in which the students have to address a number of different questions and tasks, and potentially also submit a folio on top of that. Nice. For students that may want to be assessed with credit, they need to submit the course syllabus of all the courses that they've done in their previous program of study, and that needs to be in English as well. If students have had a study gap of more than 12 months, if they're offshore in Australia, if they've done their studies in Brazil, or 2 months if they're already here in Australia, they would need to submit either a CV or a written statement of the activities that they have been doing to address that study gap as well. You're able also, if you're wanting to have somebody assist you with your application, West One's able to assist you with that as well. So they're very well versed in being able to submit the applications on students' behalf, as well as certifying documents. And then if you're successful in getting an offer, they can assist you with a visa application process after that.
Great. So Another thing that I want to know is about the scholarships that Brazilians love scholarships.
The number one question.
So please, can we apply for any kind of scholarship?
Yes, so there's actually quite a number of scholarships that Latin American students can apply for at RMIT. Firstly, I'll begin with for students that may want to do some English prior to their studies, we actually offer an English language bursary for Latin American students. So with that, generally normally the full paying fee for students is 490 Australian dollars per week. But with this English language bursary that we offer for Latin American students, it's a 35% discount. So rather than paying that full fee, students will pay 318 Australian dollars and 50 cents per week. So there's no real application process behind that. If you're successful in getting an offer to study English with us, that'll automatically be applied on your offer letter.
Okay.
For students that may want to do, say, vocational programs or say like a bachelor or master's by coursework, we offer a couple of different scholarships. So we offer the Academic Excellence for Latin American students that may want to study a program through our College of Business and Law or College of Design and Social Context. So we're offering a $5,000 payment towards tuition fees in the first semester of study. For students who may want to study like a science, engineering, technology, health program, we offer a STEM merit scholarship in which we offer a $10,000 payment towards tuition fees also in the first semester of study. Right. We also have a scholarship in partnership with one of our industry partners, Medibank, which we offer $2,000 to a student's tuition fees, as well as provide them an industry experience with Medibank as well. So there's a couple of different ones there. We also have some comprehensive scholarships to students who are interested in doing a research program, so either a master's by research or a PhD that cover tuition fees for master's by research for 2 years or up to 3.5 years for a PhD, as well as a scholarship that covers their living costs there. So we pay them a stipend. So generally, if they're successful in getting one, it gets partnered with the other as well. So there's quite a few different options there.
Nice. It's very important to have like all these programs because like you can offer different opportunities depending on the student's profile, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me see what I want. Let's talk about the English level. So I know for a fact that depends on the course, right?
Yes.
The English requirement.
Yeah, so I might just start with what sort of the English proficiency tests are that we accept at RMIT. So we accept about 4 of them. So if a student meets, so generally those 4 tests are the IELTS academic, the TOEFL IBT, the Pearson test of English academic, and also the Cambridge English Advanced CAE as well. So in terms of the required fluency, it depends on the level of study. So the majority of our higher education programs, so bachelor's, master's by coursework programs, they require, for example, and I'll use IELTS as an example here, it's a minimum IELTS of 6.5 overall with no individual band below 6.0. So for vocational education programs, so diplomas, advanced diplomas, those type of programs, there's a lower requirement, and generally it's a minimum requirement of an IELTS 5.5 and no individual band below 5.0. Right. As I mentioned before, that we do offer an English for academic purposes program for students who may not have the required level of the program that they want to study. So we teach from elementary to advanced, what's known as advanced plus. So they range from the IELTS levels of 2.0 up to 6.5. We have intakes every 5 weeks for them, and each level that we teach is 10 weeks in duration as well. Just to call out, we do have some programs that do have higher English language requirements than IELTS 6.5. So programs such as nursing, education, psychology, and social work, they do have higher English requirements. So you wouldn't be able to do the English for academic purposes program. So you would have to provide an English proficiency test in those cases.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds fair. So working in Australia, let's talk about work, because you said that you are highly ranked as number one of the
graduate employment rate.
Yeah. So, but has the student, I think it's a redundant question, but has the student the real opportunity to stay in Australia and work after? What I mean is not about the visas, or the visa opportunity, but the work force. The Australia really needs this workforce.
Yeah, like not just in terms of full-time work as well, like they do need part-time workers as well. So due to COVID, there is currently a skills shortage here in Australia, and because there is a need for a qualified workforce, particularly in the areas of healthcare, manufacturing, construction, IT, and communications, there are quite a few jobs going around, especially in those sectors. Hospitality and tourism is also a sector that's in big need of workers here. So if you are needing a part-time job during your studies, there are plenty of opportunity available to get part-time work in bars, cafes, restaurants. So you're able to support yourself while you're studying here in Australia as well. And they actually pay really, really well too, especially on weekends.
Great. Yeah. That's one of the most high topics in Australia, right? Is studying, working while you study. But do you believe that after graduating, the student has really the opportunity to engage on the market?
Yeah, absolutely. Like students do have the opportunity to apply for the temporary graduate visa, post-study work stream. So that allows graduates to live, work and study here in Australia temporarily. And depending on the program that the students completed, allows them to stay here between 2 to 4 years. I'll give a recent success story of one of our graduates, Manisha, who's from India and studied a Master of Marketing. She actually did an internship with one of our industry partners, Medibank, as part of her program last year. And she was actually successful in getting a job with Medibank pretty much soon after she graduated. So I guess that's one of the success stories that has come from one of our graduates doing one of those work integrated learning experiences that we have our program, and then getting work straight after. So there are those opportunities there available. I'm not saying it's easy, but there is a lot of hard work that needs to go into it, and as well as especially with networking and things like that. But those opportunities that are available there.
Oh, it's very nice to know.
Yeah.
That's very nice to know. So just to finish, I know that Australia delivers an immersive experience, considering not only the environment, but also the location. Do the international students have any kind of support from RMIT? And if yes, how does it work?
Yeah, so lots of different, we provide lots of different support. But first, I might go around to how we support them improving their career prospects here in Australia, given that we've just talked about sort of how we prepare them for work and how they can find opportunities after graduation and thing. So I might begin with talk a little bit more about a practical industry-based learning. So all our students learn from experts and benefit from a curriculum designed by industry for industry. So what do I mean by that is that we actually get our industry partners involved with designing the curriculum. So we ask them questions around what sort of skills they look in graduates, and then basically we design the curriculum around their feedback. So basically our students are gaining those skills that employers want, and they're relevant to their industry as well. As I mentioned, through the industry connections as well, students have the opportunity as part of their program to do internships, mentoring, placements, industry projects with some of the world's leading organisations, and gain credit for that as well. That goes towards their studies. All our programs also have a focus on problem solving, teamwork, communication, adaptability, and interpersonal skills. So really those critical soft skills that are really important when you're in the workplace. We also offer to our current students free micro credentials alongside their programs, and they're really focused around the soft skills as well. So things such as being able to work in teams effectively, cross-cultural communication, which is a really important skill in an ever-changing globalized world. So there's some examples. And then we also have another program called Future Edge, which is a hands-on program that students can do at their own pace alongside their program. And that's developing practical skills that are valued by employers as well. For students that are really focused on entrepreneurship, we do have an activator on campus as well. So that's really our growth engine for entrepreneurship and innovation. So students can do short courses around gaining entrepreneurship skills. And for students that have really bright ideas and have ideas around creating startups as well, we do offer funding as well. So students can pitch in for funding, and if they're successful in getting it, they get that money, and then also the activator staff will help them build up that startup to a certain point of its infancy as well. And then we also have a career centre called the Job Shop. So it's an on-campus drop-in centre for all things career related. So they can help provide advice around how you can find part-time work here in Australia, how you can go about finding a new career path, as well as they run workshops on improving your resume, your interview skills, your LinkedIn profile, as well as provide advice around what your work rights are here in Australia, which is a really big thing for when international students arrive as well. We want to ensure that they're not exploited at all. And yeah, lots of other things. And when students graduate, they can use the Job Shop services for up to a year as well. In terms of academic support as well, students can get one-on-one consultations with assignment writing, referencing maths, physics, chemistry, statistics, and other disciplines as well. They can get peer-to-peer mentoring through an app known as Vigo. So they're actually current students who excel in their disciplines that they're studying. So they can help with the coursework, helping them with coursework, general study skills, and building academic confidence. We also partner with a company called Studiosity. So they are a company that provides 24/7 online study help with assignments and coursework. So students can submit their assignments and get feedback on things such as assignment structure and things like that within a couple of hours. We also have library staff on web chat. We have a lot of online activities and resources as well. We run tutorials on academic integrity as well, which is a really critical thing to learn about. So that's helping you to prepare for your assessments and avoid plagiarism as well, which is a really important thing. And we also run different workshops on making students more effective and efficient learners as well. And then in terms of general support, we have staff that can provide advice around accommodation because our city and Brunswick campuses, we don't have on-campus accommodation. Only our Bundoora campus does, but it's run by a private provider. So we have staff that can provide advice around how you can go about finding it and what student options are. We also have a chaplaincy on campus. So, and that's multi-faith, so students can use that when they're on campus. If students are facing any personal difficulties, we do have on-campus counsellors as well, which they can see free of charge. We also have staff that provide support to students with disabilities, and then we have staff that can provide also advice around financial and legal matters. And then we have an on-campus medical service called Medical Hub at RMIT. So if ever students are feeling unwell, they can go and see a GP there at a subsidised rate.
That's nice. Pretty much everything. It's a whole support.
Yeah, we offer a lot of different types of support for students, whether that's related to careers, academic, or just general
mental health.
Yeah, so we want to ensure that they're happy here in Melbourne and during their studies at RMIT.
Great. That's very important. Mental health can be really a thing when you are living in another country. Australia sometimes, from Brazil, it's a quite a different time zone. So you can really feel lonely sometimes. So
and I guess I feel like Brazilians are quite similar to Australians in some ways, but there are those cultural differences as well. So students may feel a bit of culture shock when they first come here, but so there are those support services there to help them if they're ever need to talk to somebody.
That's great. Alex, thank you so much for
thanks, Barbara. Thanks
that's
so much
a lot of information. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Obrigada, muito obrigada.
Obrigado a você. Muito obrigado a todos para assistir a live.